And it is so important that once you get into the groove of motherhood and you get that structure in, that you find yourself again. It might not be the same person. It will never be the same person. I think a lot of the time we compare ourselves to what we used to be pre-motherhood. I want to encourage women to always know that deep down, you're still you and you're still important and you matter. And a happy child is not possible without a happy mom.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode on the Divinely Disruptive podcast. I'm your host, Jane Powers. As you've noticed, I took some time to rest and recover, and trust me, I really needed it. But I'm excited to jump into this new season, and in the studio, I have one of my dear friends joining me. She's an incredible model, influencer, industry girl, divine disruptor, and let's not forget a mom. I can't believe it. So before we jump in, make sure to find our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple iTunes. Jazz, welcome to the studio.
Hi, yes, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
I'm so excited we're finally able to do this too.
I'm like 1 year later.
I know. But you know what? When you said that mom thing, that's it. That's it. It's like finding that time to do this, and we found it, so I'm so excited.
And I have to ask, because I don't even have a dog. I can barely keep a plant alive. How does Jazz navigate as, like I said, a model, influencer, industry girl, being a divine disruptor? Let's just focus on motherhood for a second, because I know there's a lot of moms right now that are suffering, maybe a lot of new moms that are kind of losing their balance and maybe even their identity. So let's jump into that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I resonate with all of that. Totally. I became a mom 2.5 years ago. My son is 2 years and 4 months. He is the light of my life. He is the best person I've ever had the privilege of meeting. I'm honored to be his mom and for him to have chosen me. But I think instinctually, as women, when we become moms, that is our focus. Instinctually, we just hone in on motherhood and whatever it takes to be a mom and to make sure that your kid is okay. And I always call that first year just like a year of survival. You're just surviving. You're just trying to make it. I remember when my son turned 1 year old, like I gave my fiance a high five. I'm like, we did it. We kept him alive for a year. Like, we did it. And you know what? Like, the dogs are alive and our son's alive. The plants may have died, but at least we got 2 out of 3, and that's okay. So I definitely resonate with a lot of women that feel like they lose themselves. It is hard to not dedicate 100% to your child at the end of the day. But before we were a mom, we were ourselves. And I want to encourage women to always know that deep down, you're still you and you're still important and you matter. And a happy child is not possible without a happy mom. And it is so important that once you get into the groove of motherhood and you get that structure in, that you find yourself again. And it might not be the same person. It will never be the same person. I think a lot of the time we compare ourselves to what we used to be pre-motherhood, and we almost want to get back to it. And I've came to this point of acceptance that part of me is not, like, I'm not the same person anymore. And I've evolved into a brand new Jasmine, and it's time to nourish and love the new version of me and find that identity outside of motherhood and the new part of my life in motherhood.
No, and just even as you're sharing, Jazz, like, I'm touched because, we look great, but I'm in my mid-30s. Okay, woohoo.
You look amazing.
It's just a very humbling time because echoing, I'm not a blood mother, but I feel like God has created women to be nurturers. Yes. And so if you have the health and the ability to conceive and have an angel on this earth, amazing. But I learned so much just by observing you, and I'm blessed to even say I've known you for so many years. And back to your point, I don't think we're ever the same, and we're always evolving. And I hope that even our encounters, just you can see my maturity and I see yours. So to be able to not only evolve, embrace the new us, letting go of who we used to be, I think it's also important to really focus on energy, being intuitive, being empathic, and allowing new friendships to blossom, and maybe old ones to also let go.
Yes.
And so I want to kind of highlight maybe even walking in humility, in the sense of, hey, Jane, sometimes you got to also let people go as we evolve. Tell me what that's been like as well, because again, I can just soak in your wisdom right now, your maturity, and just I feel so grateful to still have you in my life and be intentional with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So I guess to piggyback off of that, when it comes to evolution, and we're human beings and we're multidimensional, and I think women are freaking rock stars. Like, we are superheroes. We are creators of life. We bring souls from soul side to earth side. Like, we are so capable of so much, but we're human before we're anything else. And we are not this, I don't believe that we are this endless source of we don't have endless space in our life, right? And so as we evolve and we grow, and we don't need kids to evolve. We don't need pets to evolve. We don't need dependents to evolve in our own personal journey. It is important to recognize that evolution means that we're evolving at our pace, and people that we love in our lives evolve at their own pace. And sometimes when we're evolving and we're going down our journey, someone's journey might look completely different. And what might resonate with an older version of you might not resonate with the evolved version now. And it's okay. It's okay to love someone and accept that they are who they are, and understand and accept that our journeys don't align anymore. And sometimes loving someone from a distance and wishing them well and wishing them Godspeed in their life is the best that we can do to continue our own journey and our own growth. And then on top of that, I truly believe that God will purposefully allow us to feel overwhelmed so that we take that step back and say, you know what, where can I create the space in my life? And when you let go of the toxic, whether or not that's people, habits, situations, jobs, once we let that go, then God goes, see, you see what I have waiting for you? When you let go of that and you create the space, because like I said, we are multidimensional beings, but we are still limited by time and resources and stuff like that. And so once we let go of things that do not serve us anymore, God is able to send us the blessings that will continue to serve us, and rinse and repeat,
And it's incredible what you said there, Jazz, because, we all go through dry spells, whether it's finances, relationships, fun. And I will tell you right now, I didn't know my break was about a year long. But now looking back to what you said, I didn't recognize God was cleaning house,
right,
creating new space. And I mean, there's no accident you're the first episode in this new season. And I feel like truly it is a new season. And again, I just share my gratitude to you and everyone listening and watching right now. Very thankful for their support, because not only were they able to see me transition out of some dark times, I realized, listen, I don't need to cling on to everything that I thought was for me. Right. And I feel like that does take courage,
right,
to let go,
to just recognize going against that friction, and maybe going with the flow of the growth.
Exactly.
But it's hard. It's really hard.
So I have some fun questions to ask you, because I did the audition thing. Okay. So even if you don't get a callback, you have to try it.
Yes.
And I'm like, I am not a beach girl. I'm not a bikini model, but boy, will I tell you, I've learned so much about myself, and respectfully to the city of Vegas, I've learned who I won't be, and what I will not bend on. And I feel like you can be confident, not arrogant and you can be outspoken and not rude. And I just realized during this time, I'm going to value people that value me.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to appreciate people that respect my light.
Yes.
And I don't want to dim or dumb myself down for anyone.
No.
So you never told me it was this challenging. How did you get into it? How do you stay in the industry? And then, God forbid, how do you not lose yourself? Because I don't think it's for the weak.
No, it's not. So I started the whole audition process. You know, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. So being a bottle girl has always been kind of like this, I would almost call it a status in the city. You know, when you're born and raised in Las Vegas and you see the glamour and the glitz of the Vegas lifestyle and the strip and the club jobs and all of and the community and the industry, which by the way, I've met so many wonderful, wonderful people. It's something that, you know, a lot of people idolize and a lot of people want and strive for, and it's a goal that they want to achieve. I kind of got into it back in 2020. I was kind of just doing it for fun. I was a nail tech for 9 years. Before that, I was running my own business, and I've never worked. I've worked for a salon, one single salon where I was under like the salon name. After that, I was an independent contractor for a very long time. So I just wanted a change of pace. I wanted to be on a team. I wanted to know what it's like. And honestly, I wanted someone to hand me my schedule and just have that peace of mind of not setting my own schedule and not, as a business owner, I'm sure you know, even when you're not working, you're working all the time. And so, you know, joining the industry was kind of my way of taking a break from being so boss minded and just kind of taking a step back and handing someone else the reins and being like, all right, give me my schedule, and I get to show up and have fun at work and enjoy my 20s, enjoy the fact that I'm young and I'm cute and I have the body that I do now. Like, take advantage of all the perks that I have now and enjoy all the benefits that the city has to offer. And didn't go into it with any expectation. They always say that the industry is really hard to get into if you don't have a plug, if you don't have someone to connect you, to drop your name, to advocate for you. It's very difficult. And I want to encourage girls that look at these jobs and want to do it, to keep trying and putting yourself out there, even if you don't know anyone in the industry, even if you don't have someone to have your back and to vouch for you. Back in 2020, I auditioned. I got hired at Dre's. Unfortunately, due to COVID, and Dre's was the only club that didn't reopen for the rest of the season. So I wasn't able to complete my season, but I did get the job without any experience, without any relatable work experience, and without any connection. So it's possible. It's possible. That opportunity is there. Just really being authentically yourself and not watering yourself down, regardless of what the position is, regardless of who it is, who's hiring you, whatever it is. Authentically be yourself, and those opportunities that are meant for you will come to you. And I'm a firm believer in that. I have a very love it or hate it personality, is what I like to say. You know, it's either you meet me and you love it, or it's not for you, and that's okay either way. And I see that way with a lot of these venues. You know, either they're going to love it or it's not going to be for them. In 2021, they rehired the staff that they hired in 2020 because they didn't get that opportunity, and I got pregnant. So I wasn't able to do my season the next year. And then it kind of became this thing that I was doing for fun to audition with friends. And then it became a personal challenge. Like, you know what? I didn't have my season. 2022, I was a new mom, and I had all of this weight on me that I was not used to, and a new baby, and I was going through postpartum and all of these things. And I was just so consumed in motherhood. And I was like, I am such a goal-oriented person. I need a goal. I need a goal for myself. I need something for myself outside of motherhood that I can do for me and that can serve me. And then, and you know, because it's serving me, it will help my son. It'll help my journey. It'll help my relationship. And so it was my goal in 2022. I had my son in September 28th, 2021. And 4.5 months later, or 3.5 months later, excuse me. No, I think it's 4.5 months. September, October, November, December, January. I auditioned in January. So by January 2022, I re-auditioned. I worked so hard to just get that bikini body as close, ready as I possibly could to my friend. You don't want to compare because you're never going to be back to how you looked, how you felt, all the things before motherhood. But I worked hard and worked toward that goal. And at the end of the day, my goal was to put myself back out there and have the courage to do it. And if I landed a job, then great. But at least I did it. Yeah, at least I put myself out there. And Daylight Beach Club hired me in 2022. I was really, really grateful. And it is such an, as you know, intense audition process. It is very hard. I applaud any girl that puts themselves out there, that flies across the country or lives in the city and just tries. It's hard. It's hard to, especially living in the society that we do, to not compare ourselves to other women and to feel good about ourselves without, again, comparing ourselves and seeing what other people have and always comparing our green grass to another green grass and stuff like that. And so I was really, really blessed and grateful to have been hired, freshly postpartum and against all of these gorgeous, gorgeous girls to be given a shot. And again, I didn't have the experience yet. I didn't have anyone to really shout me out. So it's possible. And I want to keep encouraging girls to keep trying because it's there. The opportunity's there.
No, and your story is really inspiring. Just even as you're sharing, I'm like, girl, like you are such a great example of somebody who wants to dream, somebody who has goals. And I feel like you said it's so grateful. It's just, whether it's motherhood, whether it's marriage, whether it's just new changes and transitions in our life. I love how you said, well, Jane, it's almost like a personal challenge to myself. So the fact that not even within a year, you jumped, it was hard work, but you got back in the grind, you got hired. But I think that says a lot about your belief in yourself. And I sound like a broken record, but I tell everyone, you have to have self-love. You have to have self-belief. If you don't believe, nobody's going to believe in you. And so to kind of echo back on what you were sharing as well in your journey, I feel like people miss this, simple rule, like be yourself, because eventually you're going to be exposed. And without going off on a tangent, I can't believe I'm still in Vegas. You're from here, but when I was new, you saw me, I was like this little, swan, and I'm like, everything's going to be great and la, 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 la. And I'm not saying I lived in ignorance, Jazz, but I think we all, get caught up in this where you're in a new environment, new friends, and you're so hopeful, but almost to a fault. And I had to learn quickly, whatever you are, you better be it and own it, because if you're fake and phony, you're going to be exposed. And so I love how you're like, Jane, I'm a you love all of it or a none of it. And I'm walking in that finally. And I think auditions really taught me that. Is Jane, wherever you go, you go.
Right.
So whatever reputation you have, it better be real, because it'll be very exhausting.
Absolutely.
To fake the funk. So, being a native here, Jazz, I just have to ask, because maybe there's hopeful people watching right now, like, oh, maybe I want to get in the industry, or maybe I want to move to the city of Vegas. What are some like little nuggets of wisdom that you could share to maybe like a dreamer out there that has hopes and dreams of moving to Vegas, maybe getting in the industry, but also that whole like, you better be yourself? I wanted to fit in.
And my way of answering this is kind of to like comment back of when I first met you. I remember like meeting you and I was like, wow, she's a boss. You know what I mean? She's a boss. She knows what she's going for. She says what she means and she means what she says. And I always respected that. And then I remember our conversations. I remember you starting to almost, and I don't mean to speak for you, so if, at any point, please correct me. But I remember, when we were talking about different challenges with work and stuff like that, and the wrong people, I feel, because I think that you're such a light, you're such a loving person, you're so genuine, and you really are authentically you. And if it's for people, then great. And if it's not, that's okay. And I remember that the wrong people were almost encouraging you how I felt. Like I received it as encouraging you to water yourself down in order to find the opportunities that you wanted to. And I'm so against that. I'm so against watering yourself down, dimming your light in order to let other people shine, in order to fit in a box, in order to land a job, whatever it is. And don't get me wrong, if you're interviewing, of course, you're in an interview. There's a way to interview and be professional. But at the end of the day, you don't ever want to lose yourself. And I think it's important that you pick yourself first. And by always picking yourself, you're going to attract the right opportunities, the right people that are going to support and encourage. And not only that, benefit off of you being authentically you. And at the same time, you're going to find the right people who are authentically themselves that you can benefit off of too. And you guys can grow with each other. Your vibration will raise someone else's vibration. I'm a strong believer that you should never lower your vibration for someone else's. Always encourage to raise someone else's vibration up. If you feel like someone else is wanting to lower yours down, it's not the person for you. It doesn't fit in your life. And it's okay. It's okay. Let them find people within their own vibration and stay true to yours so that you can attract the right people to you. So I just encourage all women that want to move to Vegas or any big city and are living that big city dream, to not lose yourself, to really foster the things that you love in life and the things that you love about yourself, and allow life, God, the universe, and whatever you believe in to send things and opportunities that will serve you for your true purpose and not for monetary or shallow or I guess just very surface level things that are very temporary fulfillment that is not going to serve you in the long run. And so just keep dreaming and keep putting yourself out there and keep trying. And, learn from the thing. If you don't land something, that's okay. Learn from the situation. If there was a goal that you wanted to achieve and you didn't achieve it, learn from it. Learn from the things that worked for it. Pay attention to the things that felt good about an interview and take notes of the things that maybe didn't feel so good and take it into the next one. You know what I mean? But just constantly learn from yourself, and pay attention to what feels right. I think that sometimes we go against the grain of what is truly feeling good because we're so focused on the next thing that we're robbing ourselves of the present moment. So by really, really, really focusing on, if we close our eyes and we're paying attention, does this person feel like, when I'm around this person, does their energy feel good, or do I kind of feel icky? Does it not feel right? When I'm living in this city, do I feel like my best self? And if the industry is meant for you, it will happen for you,
And coming from you too, it means a lot. And I hope that people listening and watching, whether they had the opportunity to meet you like I have or not, I hope they can see just like the resilience, the grit, but also, the soft side and the feminine side as well. And I had to ask you those questions because I was a dreamer coming in here, left all my friends and family. And back to your point, I wanted to fit in so bad
Yeah.
that I almost threw away my own self-love and my self-worth. And now it's everything to me. So as you mentioned, whether it's work, whether it's friendship, whether it's businesses, we must learn and not
Yes.
repeat. And if
Yes.
there are hiccups along the way, just, learn to move forward. But one of my new adventures that I'm going to share in public right now is called Divine Delicates. And it's a luxury French lace set that I'm coming out with. And so back to your point, though, it's not just another business. Like, wait, Jane, I thought you were a makeup artist. I thought you were a photographer. I thought you were selling candles. Now a lingerie set. Okay, what is Jane doing? But I'm going to tell you right now, back to the not dimming myself down. I'm a true creator. We were just talking off the record, like my husband and I. We are true creators. Our home is our creative space. The people we bring in, we want to share our creative juices with them. And so if we were to filter all of my little businesses, it would be self-love, self-worth, mental health, and remembering how important we are. And even with this luxury, French lace lingerie thing that came up, I'm going to tell you a funny story and then we'll bring it back. But I was just running around the dry lake bed and I told my husband, I said, can we just shoot some content just for fun? And he's like, yeah, we haven't shot photos of you in a while. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to bring a black blazer and maybe like a bralette. And I'm going through this identity crisis. And in that moment, Jazz, I swear to you, he sent me just like a clip of what we recorded. And I said, oh my God, I have an idea. He's like, what are you talking about? Another business? I said, no. This video of me spoke to me. Like, I almost get choked up talking to you right now about it. But girl, it was like just this quick snippet of me not giving a F.
Yes.
And I'm just walking around with the blazer, with the bralette and being like, hey, this is her. But it was that moment of, oh my God, I no longer care about what people think. And the backstory is I grew up very religious, very in the church, very Christian. And I'm not hating on anybody, but just like I wasn't allowed to really showcase who I was. I wasn't really allowed to raise my hand or speak up or wear a tight fitted outfit. You know, I grew up so conservative and grew up with brothers. So the last thing you want to do is show your skin.
Right.
So in that moment, Jazz, it was like this light bulb. Like, oh my God, like God gave me a vision. It was like, I need to inspire more badasses like us, more fierce, independent women like us, but to invite us to showcase a little bit of that feminine soft side. But it doesn't mean we're weak. It doesn't mean we're oppressed. It doesn't mean we're submissive. And if one wants to be soft and hard and be masculine and feminine, we can still run this world. So for me, that was my little rant on why I created Divine Delicates. And so for me and this podcast and this moment with you, it's all kind of bringing up this reality check of like self-love, self-worth. Do not dim your light. And even when I saw you driving up in your Tesla, I was like, girl, you look good. Get it, But I love what you said, Jazz, because it's like so real life. Why would we dim our light for anyone? Like, really, why would we?
There is space for everyone at the top. We all can eat, like there's room for everyone to be themselves. And truly, if you're so focused on fitting in and on getting the job and on all of these things that almost rob you, that you're so willing to not be yourself in order to fit whatever box, when you're there and when you achieve those things on the gaze of on the premise of not being yourself, if you achieve these things from not being yourself, where's the benefit? Where's the benefit? At what point can you authentically be yourself and take off that mask? And then the people that you attracted to the version that you put on in order to get that position, to get that place. But at what point do you get to be present and be yourself and look around and see that you're around people that love you for you? So when you truly just stick to who you are and constantly foster, and again, we're multidimensional beings, we're constantly evolving, and our ethics might evolve and our morals might evolve and our views in life might change. But as long as we're staying true to ourselves, we're going to be sent the people that are going to serve us and that we can serve back, that truly love us for us. And when all the monetary and all the kind of BS dwindles away, and, you know, I'm not some young, cute thing anymore that can pop bottles, you know, I can't be a 60-year-old bottle girl. It's not going to happen. So when all the glitz and the glamour is over, I want to turn and look around the people that are in my life and be like, damn, like, you've got to watch the evolution of my life. And it's been such an honor. Like, I'm so privileged to have the girlfriends that I've had for so long that have got to witness the different versions of me through my evolution, because I've chosen to stick and be true to who I am. I've got rewarded by having such genuine, loving people that have got to experience the different versions as well and grow with me. And then I got to experience their evolution as well and see the different versions of them. And that's such a gift. And I feel like when we rob ourselves of our true self, we don't get to attract those true, genuine, connective relationships that will be there through the evolution. We only get those relationships that were meant for a phase at a time. And it's very rare when you get to find people that can phase with you through your different phases. So yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing for sure.
And, you know, you kind of made me like, my soul smiled when you told me, you know, maybe when you're 60, can I still pop bottles? I'm like, well, with your genetics, maybe. But when you talked about authentic connections, it's cool because I remember I had the opportunity to meet your son and we were just hanging out, and, you know,
which
your
you guys,
family was there.
he just gravitated toward you.
I'm like, oh, auntie.
Immediately,
Right,
he's
yeah.
just like,
I'm
here's my toy.
Yep.
Here's this. Sing
He
with
just-
me. Come in the playpen.
Yep.
And you like hopped into his playpen
Oh, yeah,
and
we were
we're
just
like
kicking it.
hanging out with him. So
And-
freaking cute.
And I feel like that moment, you know, I don't mean to toot my auntie horn, but like, it made me feel so loved because that child, I mean, children are empaths. I swear they can
Yes.
tell if your energy is pure or not right out
Yes.
the gate. And so in that moment, it just made me feel so loved and belonged. And I think that's why we have the ability to literally just pick up where we left off. It
Yeah.
could be months, weeks, years, hopefully not years. But, you know, man, you said something that really resonated with me. People take time for granted. People take being present for granted.
Right.
Obviously, our youth, we have so many privileges, but I mean, we're all going to get old one day.
Right.
So to be able to foster, protect, and cherish the real ones. I mean, I texted you that the other day. I was like, you're a real one. Is in the end, I mean, it doesn't have to be a morbid topic, but like in the end, don't you want to look back and say, wow, I had some real ones, not I
Yes.
was faking the funk and doing it for the gram or doing it for the job or doing it for the,
Right.
you know, this and that. And so you are a great example of that. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
thankful to, again, know somebody like this in my city. And I just have to ask too, is like, in your bad days, because, you know, once in a while I have some bad days where I'm like, am I truly at my greatest potential? Like, how do you catch yourself from those negative thoughts? And then how do you bring yourself back to the present? Because we talked about social media, this fast life of Vegas, and you're fit as if, you know, but it's like, how do you catch yourself when you are off track? And like, how do you calm yourself down?
You know, I feel like mental health tends to be there's a lot of stigma behind it. Sometimes it's a trendy topic, and then sometimes it's a shameful topic. And I think that when you get into those negative self-talks and you get into those like intrusive thoughts and you're putting yourself down, it's so good to learn how to compartmentalize. And sometimes when I'm in those thoughts, especially during the audition process, it's almost like until you hear back, you hate yourself. Like I've had daylight 2022, 2023. I had to re-audition and I'm over here like checking my phone. Like you're just obsessing until you get that confirmation. But compartmentalizing is so important. Like, would I be feeling this way about myself if I was not doing this process? would I be feeling this way about myself if I was not aiming for this? It's okay to say to yourself, putting yourself out there and doing the damn thing is the achievement. And not, I'm trying to find the right words, not saying that you're a matter of success, measuring your success doesn't have to be based off of monetary achievements. Sometimes success can solely be about your efforts and your intention and your self-love and just doing the damn thing and just telling yourself like that's enough. Like you said, like you did the whole process, and if I'm not wrong, you landed a couple of jobs, did you not? Like if I'm not wrong, you did the damn thing and you got rewarded. And if you didn't, you still did the damn thing, and that's enough. And so it's good to compartmentalize and say, you know what? If I didn't see all these women, if I didn't see all these job opportunities or whatever, would I be feeling this way? Probably not. So it's not me. It's not a me feeling. It's an outside feeling. It's an outside feeling that's affecting me. But it's important to know that you're not the job. I'm a girl who tends to pop bottles every now and then. I'm not the bottle, like I'm not only a bottle girl, you know? I'm a mother first, but I was me before I was a mom. And it's good to not to remember that when you're getting in those negative self-talks, to compartmentalize and be like, you know, you're not your worst days. You're not what you don't achieve. You're not your hardest days as a mom. Those are not you. You're human who experiences hard days. You're someone who experiences rejection, and experiencing something versus actively, like, you're not rejected. You experienced a form of rejection. It's okay. There's other ample opportunities in life. Keep putting yourself out there. It's okay to go through the motions of emotions and feel it in order to heal it. And then once you're done feeling it, to let it pass. And then when it comes again, feel it again and learn to let it pass. But learning how to compartmentalize and tell yourself, you know what? I'm not my worst days. I'm not this job. I'm not this title. And I'm not the negative feelings. And just because I'm feeling it doesn't mean that they're factual. It might be real to me, but it's real in the moment. A hard day isn't a hard life. A bad thought isn't a bad health. And, you know, like a bad hair day doesn't mean you have bad hair. Like it's good to just be as present as possible and really not compare your worst days to your best days, and try to just allow yourself to just be who you are in the present moment and not compare yourself to your worst or your best, you know?
Man, I'm so proud of you right now, because like
so
if
sweet.
I needed to hear that, I know people listening and watching needed to hear that as
Yeah.
well, because man, especially growing up Asian culture,
Yeah.
it's just, I hate to say this, you know, there's a lot of good and bad from the Asian culture, but oftentimes we are raised to perform and produce,
Mhm.
and you are only what you bring back, whether it's bringing a trophy from an athletic sport or getting all, you know, straight A's. So
Mhm.
the fact that you really doubled down on like, you can't always, you know, attach your worthiness from just the result,
Right.
just simply showing up,
Yes.
even doing life. I feel like a lot of people, they don't talk about anxiety, depression, even
Right.
suicide or suicidal ideation. It's just, these are reality that people face, but we also have to normalize mental health,
Right.
mental health conversations. So I just love what you shared there, Jazz, because even with the auditions, I know people watching or tuning in, they probably see you super successful or in the industry. But the reality, it's like, you know what, sis, whether you got a call back or not, you showed up. You exposed yourself in maybe ways that you're not used to. You're literally
Right.
half naked in front of strangers.
Gosh, in front of you're getting ready for like 3 hours. You get 30 seconds and hope that you can find a way to show your personality in 30 seconds in front of a bunch of strangers. It's hard. And any girl should pat themselves on the back. Girl, guy, whoever. should pat themselves on the back for putting themselves out there for an opportunity, an oversaturated industry where you are competing against so many people, and just be proud of yourself for the intention that you put behind it and the way that you're wanting to serve yourself and your future self. It's enough. It's enough. And to kind of bounce off of the whole mental health thing, we really are not our worst days. We are not our mental health disorders. We are people that have mental health struggles. We are not our struggles. We are a form of light that has human experiences, and it's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that I have parts of me that are not my favorite, that almost feel out of control. And then there's the true me, that voice that I can always come back to, that I can always compartmentalize back into and just be like, you know what? At the end of the day, landing that job or having that bad day doesn't mean that I have a non-blessed life. My life is still very blessed. I'm so lucky and fortunate that my family is fed. I have a roof over my head, clothes on my back. My son has a school. I have a loving partner. Like, there's so many things. Like, it's so important to count your blessings. And I'm not trying to be a toxic positivity. It's good to acknowledge that there are struggles in life, but you are not your worst days. And it's important to come back to that and remind yourself to not compare yourself to monetary successes only. And success looks different in all forms of anything, like achievements look different. Wealth looks different. What my Instagram looks like is not my reality. Like what we decide to share social media wise is not a reality. And what people perceive me from the outside is not truly, they don't know what happens behind closed doors. You only know who you are. And it's important to stick true to who you are, not get lost in that, and honor yourself. Always honor your truth,
I love that. And just curious, since you are kind of a veteran in the industry, I just have to ask. So for the ones that perhaps did get a call back, whether they're new in the game or maybe they got called back to a new venue, I have to ask this as well because I could just feel it and hear it right now. My ears are ringing. But Jazz, okay, I got a call back. I'm auditioning. Okay, now what do I do? Like, tell us about how to be successful in the industry, but also that self-care aspect, specifically about joining the industry if you haven't.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, I don't feel like I'm a vet, like
you're so humble.
I don't feel like I'm a vet. This is my third year doing it. There's girls that I know, girls that are close to 40 that were coworkers of mine that have been to all the venues and have worked all over Vegas, worked in lounges, to clubs, to nightclubs, to restaurants, like true veterans. So I can only share from my experience, and I only have experience in one beach club that I absolutely love. Amazing staff, amazing. I get to meet the most amazing people. I love our guests and the DJs, and it's a really fun environment and fun experience. The audition process is so, I would just say like thrilling almost, right? Like the thrill of auditioning and then the downside of like waiting, and then you get that call back and you get the thrill again. You're, re-excited. Pay attention to what felt good in that first interview. Pay attention to how you felt, what you said, and when you said it, and take that into the next one. The little tweaks that you're like, that felt a little off, and all right, leave that one for the first one and try something new for the next one. I wish that there was a one size fits all. I wish that there was a handbook that I can a directional that I can give people. I want to say during my very first daylight audition, during my second interview, and I truly, I think that this is why I got it. It's a funny story. I'm up there and, we're in our bikini. I'm in front of my managers now and first time meeting them. The fire alarm in the casino starts going off. The entire casino. So like this blaring fire alarm is going off right when I'm standing there. And he's like, I'm so sorry. Just give me a second. And I'm like, it's fine. And I like, of course, I'm going over like what I'm going to say in my head, but I can't even focus because I have this like blaring sound. And I remember him going like, you know what? We're going to wait until this is over. Go take a seat. I took a seat. It stopped right when I took a seat. He goes, okay, come back. I come back. It turned on again. I'm like, God, what is it? What do you want me to leave? Like, what is going on right now? Is this like a challenge of like, this isn't for me? Or is this a make it happen? You know what I mean? Like, here's some adversity and figure it out. And I used it as an opportunity to showcase my personality in a way. And I remember standing there again the second time, the alarm is going off. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And I go, do you want me to text you my answers? And he just thought it was so funny. And obviously I was trying to just like make light of the situation. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, these questions that they're asking, anyone can answer. You know what I mean? They're not hard questions to ask. Like, they're pretty standard interview questions. It really does matter how you can stand out. And it's not even about standing out. It's not even about showing yourself differently from someone. Don't even worry about what other people are saying. It really is like, how can I use this opportunity to showcase who I am? I always say, I tell all these girls a lot of the audition process. I don't even know if I should be saying this. I'm such a girl's girl. I try to like give anyone cheat codes, and you know, I've like told my friends like, oh, these are the questions that I'm used to being. I've done this process for a while now, and this is what I'm used to being asked. So like, here are some questions that you might be asked. You know, like I'm trying to like put girls on game and have them prepare as much as possible. But you also want to be present. You know, you don't want to be too scripted. You want to just try to be present and authentically you. I always say the most important question for me that I think is what's the fun fact about you? Because that is your 15 seconds to show who you are. I'm going to share my fun facts that I've said in the past. I always try to say something that if the judges say, oh, can we see? I can show them. Because you know, and skydiving, of course that's a fun fact. That's cool. I can't show you that I've gone skydiving, and I'm sure a bunch of other people have gone skydiving. So I'm like, what can I say? I can't believe I'm going to say this. At Dre's, when I got it, my fun fact, just in case they wanted to see, was I had a double jointed pinky toe. They hired like what a random thing. But you know what? I'm like, I'm weird. Like, I'm a weird person. I'm a little quirky, and I do have a double jointed pinky toe, and no one's going to say that, and you're going to remember that, you know? And so that's what I said. And for Daylight, you know, at the time I was so focused on being a mom, and I didn't have any fun facts to really share. I was currently teaching my son baby sign language. He was about 4.5 months at this point. So my fun fact was, I'm teaching my baby sign language. And then I prepared something to show the judges. And I kind of put myself out there, and I was like, can I show you guys? And so I kind of showed them I did popping bottles at Daylight and did a whole little thing. And it was just that extra little razzle dazzle for them to be like, you know what? I'm going to remember that. You want, they're seeing thousands of people. You want them to remember you, but you want them to remember you for you. And that's important. So find your fun fact and use that little question to really showcase who you are. That would be my advice for that second interview, is really, really answer the questions, be professional, but also they're going to hire you because of you. All of these girls are beautiful. You're all beautiful. All these girls that audition are freaking gorgeous. And most of the time, everyone has some kind of experience, and everyone is landing these questions. So I think the ones that really stand out are the ones that truly stand out, that show, hey, this is me. And again, that little double jointed pinky toe thing, it's such a love it or hate it There's some judges that looked at me like, did she really say that? And then there's some judges that looked at me and they were freaking loud. Like they thought it was so funny. Either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. So if you're going to get hired, be hired because you were you.
And a lot of the wisdom you're sharing right now, thank you, is very, you could translate it in every aspect, right? I mean, I hate to sound like an old lady right now, but the job market is not the greatest. But back to your point, even the idea of standing out, people just automatically want to assume, oh, you have to perform, you have to be something extra. But no, you said it perfectly, is to actually showcase who you really are. And when you showcase who you really are, it resonates, they can feel it, they can tell it's from your core. You will naturally be memorable.
Right.
And so I feel like, people really need to hear that reality right now is whatever job, whether it's bottle service, whether it's auditioning, whether it's getting a corporate job, or whether you're pitching an idea. Yeah. If it doesn't come from you, it's eventually going to be obvious. Right. And now people don't want to support you. So the next question here is, you're a boss babe, you're a mother, which is one of the coolest gifts that I get to see from you. How do you make sure that you don't get burnt out? Because again, maybe there's people who have a corporate job and they want to juggle a business, or they want to do a little bit of both, maybe throw a child in there or a dog. What are your favorite ways of self-care and really making sure, okay, your cup is full?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm going to be super honest. Like, my son is still so young and I'm so privileged and lucky, truly lucky. It's not even about me. I think all moms are worthy and deserving of a village, but not all moms, in fact, more than not, do not have a village, do not have a solid village. Even if they have family members, they're not family that can offer the support. Maybe they are in a relationship, but it's not a supportive partner, whatever the case may be. I have to give credit to my village. Truly, I am so fortunate. I could not, I say that I could not, but at the end of the day, when you're a mom, you're going to figure it out. No matter what, you're going to make sure your baby's good. But without that village, I don't know if I could have been okay. I struggled with postpartum depression so bad. Actually joining the industry, which, when you hear about it and when you look at it from the outside, there's a lot of judgment and there's a lot of shallow views and materialistic viewpoints of the industry and stuff like that. But it served me. I think it really helped me gain balance in my life again out of postpartum. Just being consumed, just staying. And of course, like, if you love being a stay-at-home mom, you love it. And I'm so like, whatever, if you're a working mom and you love it, love that for you. If you're a stay-at-home mom and you love it for you. If you're a stay-at-home mom but you wish that you could work, I'm praying for you, and vice versa. If you're a working mom and wish that you could be home with your babies, I'm praying for you, because it's hard. Either way, it's hard. There are some days where I'm completely burnt out. Completely. I think it's important that we learn how to ask for help. And I think that we as women have been conditioned to feel like the Barbie movie, right? Like when she went on that speech about how hard it is to be a woman, and it's like there's no winning. There's no it's like you don't want to be weak, but you don't want to be too strong, but you want to be humble, but you don't want to be too humble, but you want to be confident, but you don't want to be too braggy, and all of these things. And some stepping outside of being a go-getter and just being like, whoa, like I'm having a human moment right now and I need help. I'm not okay. Yesterday my battery was at 70. I'm at a 30. Going to my girlfriend and I'm like, hey, I'm at a 30 right now. Where are you at? Oh, you got a 70? Cool. Oh, hey girl, like I'm at 80. Where are you at right now? What my best girlfriend, she had her baby and does not have the village that I have. And it really Like, I'm like, okay, you know what? Where are you at today? You're at a 20? Cool. I got 80 in me. Take 60. Like it's so important that we step outside of caring about the judgment and really recognize, like, if you need help, you say that you need help. If your family's not your village, you find those friends. If your friends are not that village, like, find a mental health professional, whatever the case is. Like, make sure that your health and that you are okay. You cannot pour from an empty cup. It's not possible. So burning out is not, people are going to burn out. You're going to burn out as a mom. You're going to burn out. And finding your groove, like, I swear, right when I find my groove, he grows. And then I got to find a new groove. You know what I mean? So every single time that I'm like, cool, I got this. We got some structure in us. He grows another 2 months. And I'm like, oh, you're a brand, like, you're not a new person, but you're evolving into your next version of yourself. And I'm like, cool, I got to go with, I got to figure it out. I really think that sometimes when we're so, I can do it by myself and I got this and I'm a boss and I'm so like, I don't need anyone. Like, no, it's okay. It's okay to reach out for help and say that I'm not okay right now and I need that extra support. And if there are people out there that want to help you and you're uncomfortable with accepting it, look inward. Ask yourself, like, you know what? I'm not the same little child that was abandoned at a very young age. I'm a grown person with people in my life that love me, that want to be there for me, that want to help me. And it's good to quiet that voice down a little bit that says that you're not deserving of help and say, you know what? This person wants to help me. Let me receive it. I'm deserving of receiving help. And so just asking for help, I think that is so important. Of course, working out, eating healthy, doing all the right things for your physical body, getting the right amount of sleep. But sometimes when you're a mom or you're on the go, like, getting a full meal in a day, like, sometimes cheese and crackers is what you can get. If I come home from work at 4 a.m, my son is up at 3 or at 7, no matter what, it doesn't matter. So sometimes getting those things that your body needs, rest and sunlight and working out and a good diet, it's hard. It doesn't happen organically. Ask for support. It's okay to step outside of yourself and say, I'm a human being before I'm anything else. And I need help and I deserve it. I deserve support and love. Everyone is deserving of support and love.
No, and I love just hearing your mind. And I know people just listening right now, it's like they just went on a deep dive into your mind. But no, it got me choked up too, because, whether people know or not, I've been married for 8 years and I can totally attest to what you're sharing, because even since you've known me in the years I've been here, I finally surrendered. Even that word surrender, it's like you heard of it, but you don't know it till you actually do it.
Right.
And, people have noticed like a shift in my marriage and even just how I am every day is I, for some reason, definitely abandonment issues, thanks to therapy and life coaching. Mm-hmm. I had to recognize that, like, there's also no shame in asking for help. And again, I think we all make up stories about who we're supposed to be or project an image or an identity. But the moment I surrendered, Jazz, it's like this peace washed over me, this ease washed over me. And like we said, it's not about being toxic positivity, like, oh, everything's fine, just lean on everybody else. But specifically the people out there who never let go or never surrender or think they got it. At some point, like you mentioned, you're going to burn out. If you haven't already, good for you, but it's going to happen.
Life is going to happen. Like, right? Life doesn't care if you're a mom or not, you know?
But I love that you kind of normalize this behavior of, leaning on people, seeking help, being open. And I feel like you've always been such a light in that way, not even just to me, but I can see it, the way you move in the city is like, when you talk and when you say something, it's very nurturing. When I ran into you during the audition process too, you're like, you good? Like, you got this, girl. I'm like, oh my God, I felt so loved. But I think it comes back to that worthiness. Like, I deserve a friendship like you. I deserve your kind words and I'm going to receive it. And this is the first season of life I truly receive the love people give me. And I don't know if I mean, we're going really deep right now, but like, I don't know if you can see that shift in me. When I first met you, I was like, nope, I'm good. I have a vision. I have goals. And again, these are all good, but don't try to do this life on your own. We could, but just because we could doesn't mean we should.
I mean, like, why not have a squad that's there to back you up? It feels good. It feels good to turn around and see that your people are there with you and to say, you know what? Like, it's not about like discrediting yourself. You still did the damn thing, but you have a village that loves on you and supports you through it. Why not? Why not? And then doing it despite the people that didn't have your back, even better. But when you're able to achieve certain things in life or learn how to lean on people, like at the end of the day, we're again, nothing is permanent, nothing is forever. These relationships that you have, and like we're all like souls living in a human experience. It's so important to recognize like we are not only like we didn't deserve the pain that we went through. No one like in our upbringing, when it was not our job to bring up ourselves, it was our job to be cared for and nurtured, and we were not receiving of that. It's our responsibility as adults to prioritize those needs now and to heal that version of ourselves from a long time ago by accepting the love that we should have had a long time ago. And it might feel uncomfortable. It might go against the grain of what feels natural because you're not used to it. You're used to doing life on your own, and you're used to no one having your back. But you're going to recognize that you might be blocking your blessings by hanging on to a mindset that no one's going to be there for you. There might be a lot of people that are like, hello, I'm right here. I've said this so many times to friends. I'm like, I'm never going to force like my support on you, but I want you to know it's there. It's there. Call or text away. I'm there. Like it's when you're ready to receive it. And I feel like, especially growing up Christian, we are raised with that mindset and that understanding that God's love is there, right? God's love is there. We just have to choose to receive it. And I truly believe that we all have that power of love and grace that God like made us in, with his vision to give love and support to those that really need it and truly deserve it in our life. But we are so much more in control of what is going on and really like what's going on in our mind, and having to quiet down that voice that says we don't deserve this and say, no, you know what? I do deserve this. I do deserve a girlfriend that's going to hype me up and make me feel good. I do deserve a friend that's going to help me move if I need it. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind inconvenient. Like it's not about being convenient. Life is not convenient. It's okay to inconvenience the people that truly love you, that want to be inconvenienced to love on you, because we're willing to do that for the people that we love. We don't, there's nothing convenient about sacrificing your time or whatever it is in order to give for someone else. But we do it because of that intention, because we love someone and because that person deserves it. And vice versa. It's okay to accept that and understand that it doesn't always have to be convenient, and that's okay. You're still worthy of help, of effort, of love, and just receiving good,
No, and I'm loving all of this because the greatest shift that I've made in a nutshell is finally feeling what I give to people. And it sounds so simple. Ugh. But yeah, I feel like I'm so quick to like love people. And I mean, you know me, right? Like when I host parties and dinners, like, are you good? Are you fed? Everything's good. Do you want me to check in? So I think the biggest shift is like, wow, for once, again, with therapy and life coaching and professional help, I've been able to just turn like such a small shift, but it's changed my life, Jazz, to being like, oh my God, is this how I make other people feel? It
Yeah.
feels nice. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I'm the newbie in the city, but it feels good to feel love.
Yeah.
So again, I just want to thank
So
you
happy
for
for you.
your friendship and just thank you for your love. And I think as we mature and become adults, you really resonate with people who just mean what they say,
Yeah.
right? Whether we talk here and there or see each other here and there, I know you're there for me and I can feel that. And I hope you feel that from me as
Yeah,
well.
I
It's like,
do.
I love you as a human, not just based off what you do or what you have. And so you've given us too many generous gems here, but what would be the 3 biggest life lessons you would tell your youngest self?
Oh man. What I would tell my youngest self. You're good. I don't know how else to say, like, you're good. Like, you don't got to compensate. You got nothing to prove. You're good. You know what I mean? Like, that simple mindset of like, even if you didn't get it, you're good. If you do get it, hey, you're still good. So just I don't know how else maybe it's because I grew up in a household that I felt lacked a lot of security and lacked a lot of structure and lacked a lot of love. There was a lot of abuse and hurt and pain and brokenness in my home. And and I always felt like I had to prove something when I was a kid. And I had to earn love and I had to earn all these things. And you know, that it wasn't my job to learn. And so to be where I am now and to be able to heal that part of me as a mom by being a mom and learning, like, you know what, you're good. If I don't get hired next year, you're good. You know what I mean? If I don't get this, you're good. Like, you have nothing to prove. You are worthy and you're enough. You were worthy back then. You should have gotten it. And you're worthy now. And I guess the second thing is, do you remember when I told you, I was like, Jane, you were such a giver? Not everyone is deserving of it. And it's not that everyone is deserving of good in their life. I'm saying not everyone is deserving of your good. Um, Especially when you're such an empathic person and you're a giver by nature. Takers don't not take. Takers won't stop taking. And so it's good to prioritize yourself. Again, we are not this unlimited resource that we just have ample time to just give everyone. The older that we get, the more our time is consumed and the more limited we are. And so it's so important. Don't ever change being good, but to be selective, a little bit more selective, truly stay authentic no matter what, but to maintain being selective on who is receiving that best version of yourself, who, especially if you're such a pure loving light person, it's very easy that your vibration could get lowered if it's given to the wrong people. And so it's so important to stay true to who you are, but also understand that you're worthy of setting standards of who receives that best version of yourself and limiting people's access to your good. And I guess that third one is really, at the end of the day, this is something that I've learned this past year. I hold on to friendship. It's really hard for me to let go of people. I'm sitting here and I'm like, not everyone can go with you, but I need to practice what I preach. It's so hard learning that when life is evolving and people are starting to naturally, organically fade away, that I go against the grain of letting that go. Sometimes closing your eyes and paying attention to the way that you feel when you're around someone, whether or not they're even being a bad friend or a bad person or whatever. Sometimes it's simply about alignment and paying attention to, if you don't feel good around something, someone, a job, whatever, this idea of commitment and sticking it out, it's okay. We're multidimensional. It's okay to go with the flow of something. Pay attention to what feels good. Stick with it. And what no longer feels good, learn to let it go. And just really paying attention to that inner voice and that energy that you feel around people, jobs, opportunity, lifestyles, whatever, and constantly listening to that inner voice and paying attention and keeping what feels good close to you.
Honestly, I'm like, this has been such an amazing episode. I mean, in this new season, as we're both shifting, just gratitude comes up for me right now. And I'm just really thankful. I'm excited for what's ahead in this new year.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I just appreciate you being present with me, just opening up your soul with me, and just promise me that you will let me be there for you the way you are there for me.
And same, girl.
Yes,
Same to you.
yes.
Just reach out. We are just.
I know, we're neighbors.
We're literally like a
God, it's
street
so
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're blessed and highly favored. I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for you. Thank you
And
so much.
honestly, just like as you guys are watching, listening, tuning in, wherever you are, this is a true example of just integrity, but also showing up, being present, the type of conversations we're able to have.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure to link all her information down below. Support my girl Jazz. And now you guys know why I define her as a divine disruptor in this city. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode. See you.